Well, anyway, what I want is kind of a straight line for my cut. So I'm actually going to choose this one right here. And it doesn't look like it has a straight line, and I'm actually not going to use the whole brush. I'm just going to use this lower section. So zoom into one cheek, and I'm actually going to choose my dark color. And before I begin, I'm going to get a new layer. We'll rename this one Nosebleed. And for this one, you're going to stamp it with your darker color, and then a new layer again, and stamp it with your red color. Pretty much right on top. We're as close as you can get. Remember, we will not be using all of this. We'll just be using the lower portion. For your sanity's sake, it is helpful to rename the layers. I'm going to grab my eraser tool and get a soft-edged brush, kind of on the largest side, and erase out all the portions that I don't want. And remember, we've got 2 layers of this, so we will have to do this twice. Do make sure you're on the right layer. You don't want to erase something that you want to keep. Okay, now I'm going to make my eraser kind of more hard-edged and erase out a couple more tiny sections. I'm gonna command and click one of these layers, and what that does is it selects all of what's on that layer. So even though it doesn't quite look like it got it all of this is selected, and I'm going to come up here to select and modify, and I want to expand this selection. And let's expand it. It kind of depends on how big your picture is. So you just want it to kind of come out about so far. So let's see what 7 pixels does. That's pretty good, but I think we're going to add a little bit more. So for my picture, I'm going to add 10 pixels, and I like that better. What we're going to do here is add a new layer, and we're going to use our paint bucket, and we're going to paint white. And see what I mean by it doesn't look like it got it, but it's covered. It has to do with the opacity of the brush that we used. We don't want that on the front. We want it behind everything. So I'll go ahead and rename that white. And we will be messing with this, so it won't be completely white. But the idea here is that the edges of our scar look a little bit raised, and adding that light will help that illusion. Deselect, Command D, and we're going to change this white one to soft light, and that looks much better. And if I zoom out, you can see how that edge kind of gives the illusion of the raised skin. I'm also going to go to the red one and mess with the blending mode here. Remember, up here we'll make it darker, so if I click there, you don't see the red so much anymore, but we do want to see the red, so let's try one of these other ones and see if any of them fit in better. I do like the overlay. I think that works pretty good. So the difference between overlay and normal just kind of pulls a little bit more of that black in. I do want even more black than I already have, so I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to grab my dark color, zoom into the cheek, and now we have our brush back, but we want to have a regular old brush. So here's my regular old brush, and what we're going to do is get an edge on the scar. Kind of makes it look like it goes into the skin in the same way that our little cut over here does. Zoom in as far as you need to. And I'm just going to add an edge here. There we go. And notice I am adding this to the red layer, and so it's keeping that same blending mode that I had before. There it is.